Yes, people, Manscaped is back, but this time it's not for below the belt grooming. Manscaped brings to you the Beard Hedger, the best product on the market when it comes to beard trimmers. The Beard Hedger is unique due to its number of gradient settings. As someone who's purchased this, I won't turn to any other beard trimmer. Check it out for yourself at manscaped.com. And don't forget to use code FTM20 to get 20% off of this product.
Yes, people. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all of you. Make sure you do me a favor and have a warm welcome by hitting the like button and the subscribe button. If you've not done so already, people are listening because we are creeping up to 24k. We're going to be reaching that target at 30k pretty soon with you guys and your help and support. So please make sure you do me a favor by doing that. Two buttons are absolutely free, are the like and subscribe button. If you would like to click the join button and donate as a member, then you can do to support the channel, but please, at the bare minimum, please hit the like and the subscribe button. Please show Manscaped some love. All you need to do is use the code FTM20 on the Beard Hedger on their website and you get 20% off. So please make sure that you do that and show them some love. Big up to everybody that's in the chat room. Big up to everyone that's watching live. And of course, everybody that's watching later on Catch Up. Good morning to the chat room. We've got Emerson in the house. We've got Ben, Kyle, Tammy, good morning to you. Steve, good morning to you. Elwood, Steve, Mustafa, Douglas, Carol, Ash, Rick, Mum, Steve, Jeremy, Kieran. Who else have we got? Covenant, Malcolm, and everybody else that I've missed. And of course, everybody that's watching that is not in the chat room and that is watching on Catch Up as well. So big up to all of you. We've got news on Arsenal overnight. We're very busy in the goalkeeping area. Let's just say that. Big up to everyone who watched last night's content as well. And big up to everyone who watched This Is London last night, which was one of the most heated that it has got in a long time between Don D, Guna Lee, and all of the rest of the guys. So please make sure you go check that one out if you haven't done so already. Be a very nice, funny show to watch over some lunch later on, even if you have to watch it on times two. Trust me. It was worth every single second. So please make sure you do go and watch that on This Is London. And last night's show as well with breaking news of Aaron Ramsdale. We're going to talk about that a little bit more today in terms of what's happening with the goalkeeping situation at Arsenal. We're going to talk about Kingsley Coman and where he might be off to. Premier League clubs are circling. It could be Arsenal that are one of them. Jadon Sancho going to be spoken about. Mark Guehi going to be spoken about. Mo Salah going to be spoken about. We are going to talk about all things Premier League and of course in Europe for the Premier League show this morning on the Transfer Morning Show. There isn't long left, people. There is today and tomorrow. That is it. Then these Transfer Morning shows, I can have a relax. I will be doing a morning show, but it won't be called the Transfer Morning Show. So yeah, we're going to be changing it to the morning news show. So please make sure that you do hit the notification bell so you know whenever we are on and you do not miss a show. Let's get into it, shall we? Because there's quite a lot of news this morning, as there always is at the moment. In the last few days, as it starts to break, it's going to get very, very busy in the next 48 hours, people. So make sure you buckle up, sit back, kick back and enjoy, because this is going to get mental. In the next 24 to 48 hours, you're going to see so much business. It's going to be mad. And I'm not just talking about players coming in. I'm talking about players being sold. So let's get into it. Let's start with Chelsea. It looks like Osimhen is the guy that they want. And at the moment, Victor Osimhen is making a decision. And that decision appears to be between two clubs, Chelsea being one of them. The other one does not appear to be Arsenal. It appears to be over in the Saudi Pro League. So Osimhen's got a big decision to make. Does he want to play English football, Conference League football, go for the Champions League with Chelsea and get a fair wage a week, which I imagine will be in the region of £350,000? Or does he want to wait and go over to Saudi and get about £400,000 to £500,000 a week? Because that's what he's being offered at the moment. What does he do? Well, it looks as if he's favouring a move towards Chelsea. But at the moment, Chelsea are not sure they can agree a fee. The fee agreed with Napoli for the Saudi Pro League club is around about £70 million, I believe. So it could be that Chelsea could go in for a little bit cheaper. If it's going to be starting with a 6, I actually think this is a good signing. If you could get Victor Osimhen for half of what you could have got him last summer, that is a really good signing for Chelsea. So let's see where Chelsea go with this. Because Chelsea have got a couple of options. They can go in for Victor Osimhen, or they can go in and show some interest, as we saw yesterday morning and this morning, in Ivan Toney. they're going to be roughly the same money, I think. I don't think Brentford are going to want to part with Ivan Toney for less than 50 million. And if Osimhen's 60 million, you're not paying too much more. But who's the better signing? I would argue is to say that Ivan Toney is less of a risk because he's scoring goals in the Premier League and Premier League proven. Victor Osimhen is definitely a risk. Injuries are not great with him either. Not bad, but not horrendous, but not great either. Ivan Toney's is good in terms of his injury record. I know he's had 8 months out, but actually when he come back, he did get 5 goals in 12, 13 games for Brentford. Started to dip off a little bit towards the end, but still, nevertheless, very good for Brentford. So if you were Arsenal and you were in Chelsea's position, who'd you go with? Do you go with Victor Osimhen or Ivan Toney? I would argue to say that Ivan Toney is less of a risk, but I think Victor Osimhen could get you that next level. So I think that although I believe Ivan Toney would be, he's guaranteed 15 to 20 goals for Chelsea, and I put my house on him that he would get that. Victor Osimhen could do even more, but it'll be more of a risk because he might not, because it's a different league. He's got to get settled. He's not been playing in that league before. He's not understanding the opposition and the way of playing and the culture of England. That's what I think I would be thinking if I'm Chelsea. So do you go and plant money on Ivan Toney or do you put money on Osimhen? And that's what Chelsea are doing at the moment. They're looking at weighing up their options. They're not quite sure what they're at or where they're at with who to get. And Osimhen favours Chelsea. Toney definitely would want to move to Chelsea. It looks as if one of them's going to go Saudi and one of them's going to go Chelsea. That's what it looks like at the moment. And Chelsea have got to make their mind up as to what they want to do. 300 people in here. Please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you've just joined us. It would be amazing to get them likes up. Please, please, please. We're at around about 50 at the moment. Let's get that up to 150, please, people. We've got to do is hit the like button. It's absolutely free. And the subscribe button as well. And that gets us up to 24K, which is our next big milestone for that big 3-0. Let's talk about this guy, shall we? Because apparently Jadon Sancho has stated that he would prefer to join Chelsea over Juventus. He's holding out for an offer from the Blues. Now, the Jadon Sancho move to Juventus looks to be an obligation loan to buy. But it looks like he wants Chelsea. Now, I'm really stunned by this. I honestly do not understand why he would want to go to Chelsea over Juventus. I understand he might want to stay in England and give it another go. But that is probably one of the worst places for him to go and be guaranteed first-team football because they've signed Pedro Neto. Madueke's got a hat-trick. They've obviously got Mudryk who they've spent God knows how much on. What is happening with Jadon Sancho? Would that be a good move for him? I don't think it would be. I think Juventus is going to get game time. If he went back to Borussia Dortmund where he's loved, he's going to get game time. Bayern Munich, to be fair, are looking at getting rid of some of their wide players. Maybe they'd be interested. They were yesterday. I'm stunned that he wants Chelsea, but apparently he does. Now, will Raheem Sterling move the other way? There's talk massively that Manchester United are going to go in late for him, and it looks as if they are interested. But Raheem Sterling definitely, factually, is leaving Chelsea. What is happening with Jadon Sancho? Where will he go? If I'm Jadon Sancho's agent, I'm trying to get him abroad because at England, it hasn't worked out at Manchester United. I'm not saying he'd be a bad signing for Chelsea. I actually think he'd be a good signing for Chelsea. I don't think it'd be good for the player. I think Chelsea are getting a squad player there, whereas Jadon Sancho needs to be playing first-team football at his age. I think that's where I'm at. A player that could be staying at Chelsea, however, is the Manchester United link, Ben Chilwell. It does not look like now Manchester United are going in for Ben Chilwell. It looks as if now potentially he could be staying, and that could be a very interesting one. Now, I don't really know why Manchester United are going for him. It makes no sense to me. I don't understand why they need Ben Chilwell when they've got Luke Shaw, Malacia, Mazraoui, who plays there, and Dalot, who's been playing there. It makes no sense to go for Ben Chilwell, who I don't think has been very good anyway. So for me, I think Manchester United at fullback will just have to make do with what they've got. They've got Dalot and Mazraoui. They've obviously got Malacia and Luke Shaw. That's 4 fullbacks. They don't need any more than that, surely. And Ben Chilwell, I don't think would be a fantastic option. He's always injured. He was a hell of a lot of money. And he's a player that's not bad going forward, but defensively, I've always had question marks. So it looks like Manchester United's business could be done after they confirm the signing of Ugarte, which is pretty much done now anyway. It looks like that news of him signing is potentially the last bit of business from Manchester United, or is it? It looks as if Manchester United have completed a good first transfer window We know that Ugarte coming in will complement Kobe Mainu, Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes. They've obviously got Casemiro still there as well. They know who their goalkeeper is. Their defence looks sorted now with De Ligt and Leno Yoro coming in. Obviously, with Ugarte coming in defensively, they're a hell of a lot stronger than they were last year. But I question what they're doing up top. Now, maybe Raheem Sterling could be the last little bit of business, and they're saying that they're done, but that's a smokescreen. Maybe, because they do need a wide player. Diallo's done well, Garnacho's okay, Rashford a little bit inconsistent. But other than that, they've got Anthony, who I just don't think is good enough. So maybe Sterling can come in and boost that up. Up top, they've got Xerxes and Rasmus Højlund. They have got Rashford. They've played there before. So if I'm honest with you, Manchester United are looking stronger than last year. And defensively, if they can sort that out, then I think they could be in for a shout for fighting for Champions League spots. But there's a lot of clubs that are going to be doing that. You know, a lot of clubs, Spurs, Villa, Liverpool, Newcastle, Chelsea, United. A lot of people think West Ham could be fighting for Europe as well. So this could be a really, really quality season and one that I think will definitely be entertaining. Let's see what happens. Oops. What's happened to my screen? There we go. It's back. Let's talk about Mark Guehi, because it seems as if this one is stalling and stalling and stalling and stalling and stalling. £70 million is the mark Newcastle are looking to pay. Crystal Palace are saying, no, not happening. Looks as if now he might be staying. I just think in the next 48 hours, Newcastle might be a little bit more and get him. I don't know what Palace are playing at. I don't know what Newcastle are playing at. If you really want the player, pay the money. If he's really for sale, let him go. I have no idea what's happening here. This is unbelievable money that we're talking about for a 23-year-old who's only just got himself into the England side. And I said this the other day. What are English centre-backs going to be worth in 4 or 5 years' time? Because when Ben White was worth 50, everybody absolutely cracked up. That was a steal compared to what we're going for now. Ben White at least was in the England setup, and he was 50 million. Forwards 3 years now. Guehi's now 70. Branthwaite's 75. And they haven't even touched the ball as far as England are concerned, other than Guehi. So what is going on here? Honestly, absolutely crazy. So listen, it has to be a deal that gets done, in my opinion. I think it makes Newcastle very, very strong. I think it makes Palace have enough money to go and actually replace in quite a number of positions in their squad. So I'm stunned they haven't just accepted 65, 70, and then they actually used the last week of the window to go and replace. It's absolutely crazy. It looks like they've got a replacement, however, for Joachim Andersen. Maxence Lacroix from Wolfsburg is the guy that they are after. He is going to be the centre-half pairing to Guehi if Guehi stays. And of course, if Guehi was to go, they are linked with Araújo from Benfica as well. So it looks like they could be the two centre-halves coming in, which, to be fair, I would want to be getting done pretty soon. I'd go and get Araújo anyway and Maxence Lacroix. And even if Guehi decides he wants to stay for the extra year, then you've got yourself sorted at centre-back. Palace, let's be real. A lot of people are saying they're absolutely in the mud. I think their goalkeeper's not changed. Their backline's changed with Guehi and Anderson, but it looks like they're going to be replacing them very quickly. Midfield has not changed. They've still got Lerma. They've still got Decore when he's fit. They've still got Adam Wharton. They've still got Will Hughes. At the wide areas, they've lost Elise, but that's it. They've still got Eze. They've replaced him with Kamada. They've obviously still got up top Mateta. They have sold Jordan Ayew, but they've got Eddie Nketiah. So let's be real. Crystal Palace are not nowhere near as bad as what some people are making out. And I saw last night on This Is London D getting absolutely rinsed, and people talking about relegation and Glasgow getting sacked or leaving. And I was just like, not for me. I think Crystal Palace will have a good season and still fight for the top half. That's where I'm at. Moving towards the top half, let's talk about Aston Villa. There are still links with John Duran. And there's been links with Manchester City, links with West Ham, links with Chelsea. If he is to be allowed to leave, because he is the super sub for Villa at the moment, they are going to replace him with Tammy Abraham. Now, Tammy Abraham had a stint at Aston Villa, if you remember, when they were down at the bottom of the Premier League and in the Championship when he went on loan from Chelsea, and he was one of their better players. He looked phenomenal for them. He really did. I've always liked him. I have. A lot of people that have been linked with him have just rolled their eyes and gone, nah, and scoffed at it. But for me, I think this would be a perfect signing for a team like West Ham, for a team like Villa, who I believe having Watkins and Tammy Abraham would strengthen Aston Villa no end. So for me, it would be a great sign. And if it happens, I'd say fair play. I'm surprised West Ham aren't actually trying to push for it because they have only got Fulkrug. And they have got Antonio, but he's been around forever. Danny Ings isn't good enough. So I think it'd be a really good strength and depth signing for Tammy Abraham to go to West Ham. And I think he'd get game time there. I know he had a bad injury a couple of seasons ago, but other than that, he's normally pretty injury-free. I think it would be a very good signing for a team like that. And a few years ago, I honestly thought that it would have been a good signing for Arsenal when we were fighting for Champions League football. But I think now, going for the title, we need better than that. Liverpool, let's move to them. They have signed Federico Chiesa for around 10 to 12 million pounds. It is a very good signing if he stays fit. He's 26 years old. He's a baller. He's a winger. He's a wide man Liverpool need. He's definitely, when fit, better than Darwin Nunez, Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz, in my opinion. Other than Salah, he's clearly now going to be one of the better wingers at the club. I think it's worth the risk for that money, but he needs to stay fit, and he hasn't been able to. Juventus getting rid of him for that reason. They obviously do not see the need to keep him. Thiago Motta has stated he does not want him, so Liverpool have snapped him up. What does this mean for the futures of Liverpool players? Now, Liverpool players are in a bit of a strange one. They've got a different era under Arne Slot. There's not really an understanding of their style of football yet, but they do look pretty good so far from what I can see. I know a lot of people are saying that, oh, this Arne Slot's going to be a genius, and there's a lot of people thinking, rival fans, no, he's not. I don't think Liverpool have looked much off of what they did under Klopp so far. Now, that's a massive compliment. I'm not saying Arne Slot's as good as Klopp, but in terms of their style, it hasn't looked like a completely different Liverpool from what I can see. I haven't looked at Liverpool once yet in pre-season or at the start of this season and gone, God, that's unrecognisable. What is this Arne Slot doing? That's got to be a compliment to the man. I must say that. But Liverpool are coming to the end of an era because it looks as if now Liverpool players are considering their future. And it looks as if Mo Salah is one of them. He has stated today at Sky Sports News, let's get this season done with and then we'll see. Well, that means to me that he's probably going to be going over to Saudi after this season. Alisson, likewise, it looks as if he's going to think of his future if they're bringing in Marbadashvili, who's going to be their number one goalkeeper. Trent Alexander-Arnold is still linked with moves to Real Madrid, and he has not signed a new contract. Imagine that, free transfer to Real Madrid. Wow. When they come knocking, it's a different knock, as they say. And obviously, you've got Van Dijk's future up in the air as well. So Liverpool have got the kind of Klopp era that probably is disappearing. We've seen Jordan Henderson, James Milner, Firmino, Mane, Matip, these guys leaving. On top of that, you've got Fabinho that's left, Naby Keita who's left. That's 7 players. If you lose the other 4 players that, let's be real, have been their 4 best in Salah, Alisson, Van Dijk and Trent, wow, Liverpool really will be unrecognisable. Now, I'm not sitting there as an Arsenal fan going, oh, Liverpool are going to be in the mess, because actually they will replace those players. But it is going to be a sad era for them because it's been one of their most successful and one of their most exciting. And let's be real, they should have won more Premier Leagues in that time. They really should have. So let's see what happens. I think it could be a good signing, Chiesa. If he stays fit, I think they've got a really good player there. Liverpool need more. Liverpool need a number 6. I think they should go. Excuse me. I think they should go and get Czech Doucouré from Palace. They should go and try and get Adam Wharton from Palace. They should go and try and get Varela from Porto. They need another centre-half. I know there's rumours in the chat about Bastoni. I don't see that one happening. But they should have been in for Mark Guehi, in my opinion. I think that would have been a very, very good signing. Him and Konaté to take over from Van Dijk. This is what Liverpool need to start doing now. And in my opinion, they still need a number 9. And I think Ivan Toney, Liverpool fan, would have been perfect for him. But it doesn't look like they want him. Looks like Chiesa could be one of the only signings they get. So let's see what happens here. Let's move to a player who Newcastle are looking at, because apparently James Trafford from Burnley is a goalkeeper that Newcastle are after. It's very strange, this one. I do not ever understand why this goalkeeper has been wanted and sought after, because I just didn't think he was good enough at all at Burnley. I really didn't see any presence, any power, any command of area whatsoever. Might have been a good shot stopper, but most goalkeepers are. I just don't see that this would be a great signing. But Newcastle are interested. Newcastle obviously have Pope. They bought their new goalkeeper in, but they clearly want more. And James Trafford could be that goalkeeper that they get. Let's see what happens with Newcastle. Newcastle have had a very disappointing window. For a club that are billionaires, this is a very disappointing window. And I understand PSR gets in the way, but my goodness, when you've got a transfer window that they're celebrating for keeping their players, you know you're not serious. And I like Newcastle, and I've tipped them for good season this season, but my goodness, it has not been good. It really hasn't. Amrabat, remember him? Yep, the Manchester United player on loan. Well, now Everton are linked with him on loan, and they are pushing for him. Everton, another team that have had a poor window. Yes, they've kept hold of Branthwaite, but they had to sell Onana. What is going on with Amrabat? Is he going to be going over to Everton? Will he have a better season than he did over at Man United. He was very disappointing in terms of giving the ball away and just looking a bit sloppy in midfield at times. For me, I thought he was going to be a good signing, but it not worked out for him. Manchester United were actually looking at him again, but it looks as if Everton are now favourites to get him. So let's see what happens there. Let's move to Arsenal, shall we? Because we've got quite a lot of news to talk about in relation to where they're at and what they're going to be doing in the goalkeeping department. It looks as if now Aaron Ramsdale is set to leave Arsenal for Southampton. £25 million is the deal. However, it's £18 million up front. There's £1 million extra if they stay up. The rest of them are performance, whether he's the first team goalkeeper, how many appearances he gets, how many clean sheets he gets, and that can rise up to 25 million. Now, if I'm honest, it's not a great deal. If I'm honest, it's probably the best we could have hoped for. If Arsenal wanted money this summer, we had to take a little bit of a cut. And unfortunately, that's what's happened. I don't think Edu and Arteta will look at themselves very well here. I don't think they'll be proud of this business. I think what they've done to devalue Aaron Ramsdale has been mental. They should have sold him last summer if they were really interested in replacing him. But they tried to be clever and try and be cocky and keep them both as number one. Never going to work. One of them was going to get unhappy. And Aaron Ramsdale's the guy that's become unhappy. And unfortunately, if you wanted to keep Aaron Ramsdale like I would have, then you had to either loan him and get him back, loan him with an option, or just keep him in the second goalkeeping position. And that's actually what I would have done. Now, to get money for him, we probably would have devalued him even more if he would have sat on the bench for another season. So they've messed this one up. And 25 million is probably the best that we could have got. And Southampton have got themselves now a very, very good goalkeeper, by the way. Very good goalkeeper. And one that I do think, particularly for a relegation fighting club, it is phenomenal. So it's got to be one of the best signings of the window. 18 million for Aaron Ramsdale. Wow. So what do we do now? Well, Aaron Ramsdale is saying goodbye. I hope he has a good career. First team goalkeeper is what he deserves. Hopefully, he'll get his England number one place back. Maybe he can keep Southampton up. That's how important some of these goalkeepers are. A lot of people say that, oh, his goalkeeper kept us in the Premier League. Maybe he can do that with Southampton. But the player that we are after is Juan Garcia. Now, it's not just Juan Garcia. There are other players that we are after. But Juan Garcia is the guy that's going to be coming in now to replace Aaron Ramsdale on the bench. He's definitely not going to be the first choice. That is for sure. He's coming in from Espanyol. I do not know enough about him. All I will say is that he's highly rated by our goalkeeper coach. Where have we heard that before? Arsenal and goalkeepers, I've got to be brutal. I said this last night and I've got to say it again. I don't have any faith in Arteta and Edu when it comes to goalkeepers. So far, we've not been able to replace Emi Martinez with any of the 8 that we've signed. I honestly have absolutely no faith in Edu or Arteta when it comes to goalkeepers. Runnison, Matt Ryan, Matt Turner, Ramsdale, Juan Garcia now, Emi Martinez, David Raya, and then the third choice goalkeeper that's coming in as well. And there's others that I've missed. Leno. Why do you need 9 goalkeepers to work out what one you want? Now, David Raya has been a good signing. Aaron Ramsdale was a good signing. But other than that, the rest of them have been pretty trash, other than Emi Martinez, who was there when he walked in, and for me was the best. So I honestly do not understand what they're doing with the goalkeeping situation. But they're not stopping there, Arsenal. They are going, indeed, for a third choice goalkeeper, along with their second choice, which looks like it's going to be Juan Garcia. And there are rumours that it is either going to be one of Dan Bentley from Wolves, who we've been linked with previously and went for that pathetic bid of 50k a few weeks ago, which got rejected, funnily enough. And then the other goalkeeper is Wigan's goalkeeper, Sam Tickle. Now, I know nothing about him either, but obviously he's a young, promising goalkeeper. And Arsenal are looking for a homegrown quota player to allow them not to fail on that for the Champions League. So they want a young third-choice English goalkeeper. We've already signed Tommy Setford from Ajax. I thought he was going to be the third-choice goalkeeper. Looks like he is going to be nothing more than a fourth-choice youth academy goalkeeper that they believe is highly rated, that they obviously want to try and train and grow. And now they've got Sam Tickle potentially coming in as third choice that's going to play in that same very position, I imagine. He is somebody that we are literally signing just to tick a box. And it's very, very clever, but it's something that could be potentially very cruel. But goalkeepers are happy to do that. Some goalkeepers are happy to go and sit on the bench. Look at Richard Wright, look at Stuart Taylor, and look at Scott Carson. They've all done that for Manchester City, and they've all been happy as the third choice, being tipped to get Champions League football, third choice, homegrown quota, and then they sit there and win trophies with their team. Maybe that is what the third choice goalkeeper position is all about. It's very, very simple for us to be doing that. We're going to have Ethan Nwaneri, Lewis Skelly, Saka, White, some of the other youngsters as well that are all going to be homegrown. But we have sold quite a lot. Ramsdale, Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson looking to go as well. Smith Rowe has gone as well. These English players that have all left, they need to be replaced with homegrown quota. So it could be interesting. Are Arsenal in for anybody else? Well, the goalkeeping department looks like it's going to be complete. Ramsdale leaving, Raya being the number one. Looks like Juan Garcia will be the backup now at number 2. And then it looks like the number 3 and third choice goalkeeper will, in fact, be either Sam Tickle or Dan Bentley. That will be the homegrown. That's the goalkeeping department done. The defensive department looks like it's done. Kieran Tierney won't leave because he's injured, and it's quite a bad one. So if he does go, it will be in January. I imagine he'll probably go back to Celtic on loan or something like that, which will probably happen in January unless he wants a permanent deal. And then, of course, we've got Jacob Kivior, who looks like he's now staying at Arsenal. Serie A clubs were circling. I think there was a few Serie A clubs that were circling as well. But it looks like none of them have put in any bids. I think 25 million is what we're after. No one's putting in anywhere near that at the moment. Certainly they've inquired, but been put off maybe by either the price tag or by the fact that we don't want to loan him. And I actually would keep Kivior. Kivior in the squad is a good squad player. So that's what I'd be doing if I was that. What we're doing in the midfield, well, it looks like Marino coming in now has definitely strengthened that. But the wide areas and up top, we are short. And it all depends on what we are going to do. We have made over £100 million in player sales, which means we are surely paving the way for somebody to come through the door that Arsenal fans are going to get excited about. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's 1 or 2. I don't know if it's 3. I don't know who it is. It could be absolutely no one. And we're just saving for the next summer. Who knows with this club? But we are leaving ourselves incredibly short if we're not bringing anyone in. I will be stunned and shocked if no one walks in the door at Arsenal within the next 48 hours. Who is it going to be? Well, it all depends if you want a striker and a winger. And Romano has said that if it's going to be a winger, they need to find a home for Reece Nelson. Now, Leicester were interested with a loan with an obligation, but that went very quiet after Arsenal said they wanted £25 million for him. They were prepared to go around about £15 million, which is what I believe we should be looking to try and get. £15 to £20 million for Reece Nelson, for a player who's not kicked a ball in pretty much 18 months regularly. He needs first-team football. Where does he go? Well, Fulham are the next club to show an interest, apparently, and they are sniffing around him. Loosely, they've been linked with Reece Nelson in the last 24 hours. What will happen today? Will he find a club? His agent needs to find him one. His agent needs to find him a club where he feels at home. His agent needs to find him a club where he believes that he feels like he can actually develop. And at the age of 24, someone who plays on both wings, I think Reece Nelson would actually be a really good goalkeeper. I've been talking about goalkeepers too long. A really good player for a club like Fulham, maybe a Leicester. I think West Ham was sniffing around him previously as well, but it looks like they went for Somerville instead. Reece Nelson needs a home because once we sell Reece Nelson, we will definitely then get 2 players in, and it will be a striker and a winger because we'll have to. We'll absolutely have to. You cannot sell all these players and then just not buy anybody or just buy one. Selling 5 or 4 or 5 attacking players, we would have sold Vieira, Smith Rowe, Eddie Nketiah and Reece Nelson and bought in 1. That ain't enough. We're weakening the amount of quality that we've got and quantity that we've got in the squad. So for me, yeah, we need to be finding a home for Reece Nelson and replacing him. And it looks like one of the names on the list is Kingsley Coman. Arsenal are said to be interested, but there are a Premier League club that are apparently unnamed that are interested in Kingsley Coman. Who is that Premier League club? I have absolutely no idea. But Sky Sports, Damesh Chef reporting, an unnamed Premier League club have explored the conditions of a deal for Kingsley Coman. Who is that Premier League club? It could be Chelsea, could be Liverpool, could be Manchester United, it could be Arsenal. Arsenal been linked previously. I'm not too happy about this, I've got to say. I don't think this is a fantastic signing. I think at 28, the guy is so injury prone. It is incredible. Now, when he's fit, fantastic. Fantastic player. But he isn't fit enough. He missed March, April and May pretty much of last year. And previously missed a big chunk of the season as well. I don't think that suits Arsenal at all. I think this signing needs to come in and be a top talent. Now, I don't want to be hypocritical because I wanted Pedro Neto and he gets injured as well. But when you're playing 15, 20 games and you're Pedro Neto used to that league, I think it's less of a risk than Kingsley Coman, who's coming in injury prone, a lot older, a lot more injury problems. Yeah, I don't think that one's going to suit us at all. Someone who's definitely not going to come to us, it seems, this window, unfortunately, is Nico Williams. Now, this is definitely our number one target for a winger. Arteta wants him. Arteta's sold him the dream, or tried to, spoken to his reps, but he is adamant on staying for another year at Athletic Bilbao. And it looks like Athletic Club are happy to keep him for that season and then potentially look at him leaving next summer. There's no rumours suggesting that he is going to be attainable this summer. Di Marzio has said that Nico Williams will be staying at Bilbao. He's decided to stay for another year minimum. There's no chance that he'll leave in the coming days. And the Athletic were reporting that although Mikel Arteta wants him, yeah, it probably isn't going to happen. He looks unattainable. That is your transfer news, people. Listen, there's going to be other rumours that comes out. I would absolutely love this from Kyle. Kvaratskhelia would be one that I'd absolutely love. He absolutely lit up the Euros for Georgia, and he's been phenomenal for Napoli. Definitely been the best player for Napoli, better than Osimhen, better than all their guys. So for me, this would be a great, great signing, and one that would really take Arsenal fans to a new level of excitement. That's the sort of level of player that we're going to need to leave to save this window. This window has been poor. Yes, we've sorted out the goalkeeping situation finally, and we will in the coming days, but that's not taking our window from anything more than a 4 out of 10 at the moment. Bringing in Marino is a good signing, and bringing in Calafiori is really good, but hang on a minute. Let's just listen to what that means. Arsenal, best defensive record, need a striker, need a winger. Brilliant window so far. We bought a goalkeeper, a winger, a left back, and a midfielder. Where's the attack? That has to be coming, people. That has to be coming. There is absolutely no way Arsenal are going to leave us this short. Unless Edu and Arteta have given up and fancy getting themselves sacked, I have absolutely no doubt that we will bring somebody in, whether it be 2 players, wide and forward, or whether it be 1. If we bring in 1, I want it to be a striker, and I want it to be Victor Gyökeres. If I'm honest, I want it to be Isak, right? But it's not going to be Isak. I just wonder if there is an opportunity for us to go all out with paving the way now with all these players coming out to go, right, Isak, 120 million in Newcastle. Then what do they say? They want to say no, but what does Isak say? Isak might look and go, actually, I fancy that. Then what happens? This is what Arsenal need to do, in my opinion. Go all out for Alexander Isak in the last 48 hours. See what happens. If you don't get Isak, you've got Gyökeres there. Gyökeres has got a release clause of £84 million. We've just made more than that on the player sales. So, please, sign someone. A lot of people in the chat saying, Dan, we ain't going to sign anyone. We're done. Our business is done after Marino. I think that would be very, very, very bad news. And I do not have Arsenal winning the title if that happens. We'll be praying on Havertz and Jesus to stay fit. Because if they were to both get injured, my God, what do we do? Oh, it's okay. We've got all these positive people, but we've got Trossard and Martinelli can play there. And who goes on the left? Well, Trossard to go up top and then Martinelli on the left. Right, who's coming off from the bench? No one. Jorginho. It's like, come on. We know we're short. What are we doing here? Why are we trying to pretend like we're not? They have to have something planned. They have to have something in the pipeline. There's absolutely no way Arsenal are not going to sign someone. It has to happen. And in the next 48 hours, Edu and Arteta have said, we will be happy by the end of the window. Arsenal fans do not need to panic. What's going on with the striker situation? What's going on with the wide man? If we're going to get Kingsley Coman, it's not really exciting to me. Are we going to get somebody in that perhaps we haven't heard of yet? Is it going to be someone we've not been massively linked with yet? Is it going to be a mad last 48 hours and we go in for an Evan Ferguson, who, albeit is injured at the moment and is only 19 and doesn't look 100% ready, but has a hell of a lot of potential, is a great finisher, looks the closest to Harry Kane at his age, that's for sure. Are we going to go for someone like that? That wouldn't excite me or take me to new levels, but maybe it's something a bit different Arsenal are doing. What about Adingra from Brighton? Is that someone that we're going to be going for last minute? Lookman, where's that rumour gone? Leroy Sané, is he going to be brought in to the club? It's going to be very, very interesting for sure. People that say they trust Edu and Arteta, I hope that I can as well. I hope we're not short. The Cronkies have to deliver. Edu and Arteta has to deliver. So does Richard Garlick. And that window needs to shut. and we need to go, wow, Arsenal are ready here. And at the moment, it's going to be difficult for us to do that. Now, I understand a lot of people are worried about Ødegaard. If Ødegaard gets injured, it will be Havertz and Nwaneri that takes his place, not Vieira and Smith-Rowe this time. But that means that one of them's dropping our number 9 to the number 10 now. Who's going to play up top? Jesus, well, he's injured. So who's going to play up top? I know people look at this and go, well, that's a very, very negative way of looking at it. If all these players get injured, but I've seen players get injured at Arsenal. I've seen players get injured this season at Chelsea, last season at Man United. They had to all swap around and cover for each other. Arsenal might not be able to do that. So we need to have 2 players in each position. We need a squad of 20. And at the moment, we've got a squad of about 16. We need 3 players coming in. At the very bare minimum, we need 2. And that's a wide man and a striker. And then I think we'll be okay. But I still look at that attacking midfield option and worry. So listen, there's a few positions. There's always going to be positions we're going to worry about if someone gets injured. Listen, if Saliba gets injured, Saka gets injured, Ødegaard gets injured, the drop-off's huge, right? I don't want that drop-off to be Reece Nelson level. I want it to be a potentially Eze level. I don't want Saliba getting injured and us thinking, what are we doing? Well, we've now got Timber. We haven't got to put Rob Holding in there. If Partey gets injured, we've got Jorginho. If Rice gets injured, we've got Marino. If Trossard gets injured, we've got Martinelli. We're pretty much good in the other areas, right? But I'm looking at now, every single one of the players that gets injured, how many players have we got in that's adequate cover? I'm pretty much good in every position, other than I've got worries about Ødegaard, Saka, and our number 9. That's it. So that means we might need 3 players. I don't think we're going to get 3 players. I think at the moment we'll be lucky to get 1 in. So let's just see what happens. We have to be very, very patient here. And we have to be real about it. Okay, what we got coming up later? We've got a busy day, people. There's a show dropping at lunchtime, which will be a clip from the Arsenal guys about the Arsenal window. We also have a show that I'm going to be doing with lead judges, which is going to drop later on around about late lunch, looking at the transfer window. And there's also going to be a show later on for the Champions League draw, which, yes, is early this evening. I will be live as the draw in the new format of the Champions League is drawn. So make sure that you do come back for that one and join me as the Champions League draw is drawn. Make sure you're there for that. And this evening, I have got Rival Talk, which is all Premier League clubs talking about transfer window this weekend, which, of course, is going to be kicking off before the international break. So please make sure you don't go anywhere. Hit the like button, please. There's nearly 700 of you in here, and there has been over 700 of you at some point. This is fantastic numbers again this morning. Please make sure you do me a favor. Hit that like button. We've not hit 200 likes yet, and there's 700 in here, which means that there is 500 of you that have decided that they do not like the video. Why? What am I doing wrong, people? This is free content for you. All you've got to do is sit there, have a cup of tea and listen to me in the morning, or get on the way to work, drive on the way to work, sit in the office at work, put me on, put yourself on, working from home in the background. Please hit the like button if you do enjoy this content in the morning. It would mean the world to me. And also make sure you hit the subscribe button. They're the only 2 buttons that I would like you to press. So please make sure that you do that. To end the show, we're going to use this super chat from Cal's Corner. Big up to you, Cal's. I hope you're well, bruv. Says, if selling Ramsdale's right now means we get 2 forwards, then I'm fine. If not, horrible business. We should have loaned him if we're getting 1 attacker. Now, the business for Aaron Ramsdale, I don't think will have any effect, I should say, on what we do in the attacking areas. I think Ramsdale wants to go. You have to let a player go if he wants to go. I don't blame Ramsdale at all. And I put the lack of money that we've got for Ramsdale solely on the foot of Mikel Arteta, who wanted a new goalkeeper and has devalued him. As for the attacker, I think he's coming in. I just don't know who it is. I hope it's Gyökeres. I'd love to think it's Isak even more than Gyökeres. I don't think it is that. I don't think we're going to get Isak. I just don't. I don't think Newcastle will sell him. And Gyökeres, I think the only way we get him is releasing the clause, and that's £84 million, which I think would be a good signing. But are we going to go for it? let's see what happens. It could be very, very interesting last few days. It's definitely going to be, that's for sure. Make sure you do me a favor. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's see how many likes we're on now. We're on 188. Let's get that up to 250 ASAP, please, people, by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel to get us up to 30K, because that is the next target. If you want to be a part of the 12th man community, hit that subscribe button. If you would like to join as a member, you can press the join button next to it. But please hit that like and subscribe, because it's absolutely free. Okay, make sure you show Manscaped some love, people. Go to the manscaped.com website, select beard and face, the beard hedger, and use the code FTM20. That will get you 20% off. Take it easy. We'll see you next time. Up the Arsenal. See you at lunch.
Yes, people, Manscaped is back. But this time, it's not for below the belt grooming. Manscaped brings to you the beard hedger, the best product on the market when it comes to beard trimmers. The beard hedger is unique due to its number of gradient settings. As someone who's purchased this, I won't turn to any other beard trimmer. Check it out for yourself at manscaped.com. And don't forget to use code FTM20 to get 20% off of this product.